Today on Hot Rod High School, we are going to use the Hunter TCX51 tire changer to dismount and remount a tire. So let's go ahead and get familiar with our controls. Down on the floor of the machine in the very front, you'll see there's these 2 foot levers. One of them operates the clamp that holds the tire onto the turn plate. That's the one on the left. The one on the right causes the turn plate to rotate once the tire is clamped down onto it. Here on the handle to the bead breaker, you have 2 small buttons. So if you push the one button, the bead breaker will go inward. And if you push the opposite button, bead breaker will then move outward. So that's how we will separate the bead of the tire from the rim. Now this foot lever over here on the side of the machine is what operates the air for reinflating the tire. And last but certainly not least, we have this little toggle switch right here that operates the assist arm. That's going to help us with reinstalling the tire when we're ready to do that step. Okay, coveralls on, safety glasses on. Let's go to work. For step number 1, we're going to take our Schrader valve tool and use it to remove the Schrader valve from the valve stem. And once we removed it, we're going to go ahead and let all of the air come out of that tire. We don't want any air in the tire when we go to break the bead. Next, we're going to set the tire up right here, where it's going to be right in front of our bead breaker. And we'll push that inward button, which will bring the bead breaker in to make contact with the edge of our tire, right up close, but not quite touching the rim of the tire. And we just keep on pushing that button in, and that is going to remove the bead on the tire. So that's removed. It's all set up all nice. Now we got to spin this tire around and repeat that same little process on the back side of the tire. And spin it around a little bit, make sure that that bead really is fully removed. Yeah, perfect. Now for our next step, we got to put the tire up onto the turntable, just like so. And now we will hit that left-hand pedal, and then the turntable clamps will clamp the tire so that it can't move. So the tire is now clamped down into place, and we can begin the process of removing it. So now we will take and mount the removal head into place. We're just going to take and move it inward and then push it down and get it all the way up close onto the edge of the rim. So it looks like so. So right there. And then grab onto the locking handle up top. And we'll just push forward on the locking handle. And that's going to lock this head down into place so that we can remove the tire from the rim. Now we need to grab onto our tire bar over here. And we are going to slide the tire bar down underneath this edge of the tire bead right here, where there's this nice little gap that happens to be the exact same size and shape as the tire bar. Makes it just a perfect spot for that to sit on there. And we can leverage the edge of the tire up over the edge of the rim. I like to push down on the opposite side of the tire. And at the same time, just leverage it up and over so it looks like that. And now we can depress that right-hand pedal down there that has this little turning symbol on it. If you depress that pedal, it spins the tire clockwise. If you push up on the pedal, it'll spin it counterclockwise, which can really be helpful if you get stuck at any point. So I'm going to depress the pedal, the machine will turn clockwise, and that'll remove the top bead from the edge of the rim. Okay, that one's removed, nice and easy. Now I will pull the edge of the tire up and over so it looks like this. So I have this gap right down here. And now I'm going to take and slide my tire bar down into the gap so it goes under the second bead down below. Then just gently lift up on the tire and push the tire bar over. And now the bottom bead is ready to be removed from this tire as well. Okay. Nice and easy. Our tire's now been removed. And at this point, we could do our tire inspection. We can do our tire patch, whatever needs to be done. If we need to access the tire pressure monitoring sensor, whatever we got to do. When putting it back on, we're going to use a little bit of this tire lube. Let's put that on here on the edge of the bead. We'll do both beads like that, top and bottom, to make sure we're not going to rip or tear this tire when it goes back on into place. So at this point, we can go ahead and fully remove the tire. We'll just flip it over, show that we actually did something. Want to lay the tire down so it's at this kind of 45-degree angle over the edge of the rim, and I should be able to just take and push that tire arm back into place. So it looks just like this. And now this nice channel that's built into the back of the arm that's going to hold the back side of the bead. And when it's set like this, it should very easily slide the tire back onto the rim when I once again depress that right-hand lever. Just that easy. So I'll get the next portion of the bead to be in the same spot. And when you set this up to go back on, both top and bottom bead, you see this little kind of swoopy piece right here. You want the tire to be going underneath this, and that's what's going to guide the tire and get the tire to want to fall into place. So it needs to be over this little hump that's in the back, under this little slide piece right here. Now our last item to do is to install our assist arm. So that's going to help this top bead slide on. The top bead's always a little bit harder than the bottom bead to get to go into place. Okay, I'm going to just bring my assist arm over so that it's just past where the install head is in place. And I'm just going to use that downward toggle switch and put a little bit of downward pressure on the tire to keep the edge of the tire down below in that drop center portion of our rim. And now I simply hit my right hand pedal, and this will glide around and reinstall the tire onto the rim. Okay, now that it's reinstalled, we can first get the assist arm out of the way. Then we'll pull up onto this handle here. And we'll get the install head out of the way as well. And now we're ready to reinflate the tire. So I'm just going to take my air hose. I'm going to install it onto the valve assembly. I'm going to hit that left-hand pedal, and that'll begin the process of air flowing into this tire. And I might have to lift up gently around on the tire to get it to actually seat up. Then we'll listen for those 2 distinct pops, and we'll always keep an eye on that air gauge and make sure that we don't end up putting too much air pressure into this tire as we go. So go ahead and start adding air. And there we go. And last step, we will reinstall our Schrader valve. And now you're done. Very simple machine to use, very user-friendly. So easy to use machine. I'm sure this is going to become the new favorite here in the shop.